to the Fitness Business Breakfast. And Mel, given you are in Victoria, I would love to hear an update on how things are going and if it's picking up now that it's been how many weeks since lockdown you came out?
I think we've been out about 3 weeks now, Edwina, and thanks for asking. Look, I have nothing but praise for all of the club owners in Victoria. They're doing an amazing job. Everybody's being positive. Members are coming in and they're committing to their memberships. And I really believe that 2021 is going to be a great year for all clubs in Victoria. Yes, we're licking a few wounds from 2020 and being in lockdown. But to those club owners that are listening right now, move forward because 2021 is going to be big. And the most important thing is to remember is that the fitness industry has changed and it's time for us to move with it.
Absolutely. And excited today to say that we've got a special guest to help move the businesses and step up and get ready and prepare for a big launch in January to bring all the new members in. And Sam, JT has kindly shared your bio. So Sam Mutamar, it sounds a bit like a made up story. It's pretty impressive. In 2007, you apparently were side tackled in an English national rugby game and snapped your leg in two. And instead of going down and doing nothing about it, Sam decided to do a YouTube video and cast a bid for advertising space slots on her cast. And the video went viral, earned over 27,000 views, which to me is just a perfect example of the fact that Sam's good at overcoming barriers and turning them around to make them a success. Sam is trusted to advise on all things digital as social media resident for Channel 7, The Fin Review, The Age and The Herald Sun. Sam has gained popularity as an expert speaking at corporate events for top tier brands in Australia, England, Germany, and South Africa. Her energy is infectious, which we've already seen. Her advice is sound, authentic, and achievable. As CEO of Think Tank Social, Sam's built her business over the last 11 years off the back of mistakes, learning curves, and challenges inherently unique to working with technology in a consultant state of flux. Pivoting is necessary, refocusing is critical. This is why Sam is so trusted by brands, athletes, CEOs, and corporates from a myriad of industries, because she always finds an opportunity in a challenge. Permanently guided by the why, Sam grows the narratives of brands through education, strategy, creativity, and partnerships, and reminds everyone she meets that if you really want something bad enough, you'll always find a way to make it happen. So welcome, Sam, and thanks for being here. And you're based in Victoria, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
So how's it been with you in lockdown?
It's been like with everyone, it's like you've had to change, and it's been very much a case of becoming a lot more self-aware and very much looking after our team, focusing on people, ensuring our clients have been communicated to in the best ways possible. So I think for us, and like your attitude, Mel, it's like for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you've got to get better. And we've looked at it and been focusing forwards always. And we've actually grown significantly over that time because a lot of businesses have come to us and said, how do we do things digitally? How do we connect with our consumer in a more meaningful way? So as we go into 2021, the community is more digitally savvy than ever before. My mum, who's jumping on Zoom at 70 years old, she's joining into Zumba workouts and stuff like that. So great, we can now connect with the consumer face to face, which of course in the gym is most important, but then also digitally through digital memberships. And yeah, it's been, I hate to say the word good, because I don't want to come across overly positive, but I always look at things like when it gets hard, you're really learning, you're growing. And so it's been a real growth year, I think, for everyone.
I think in Victoria, you can say it's good. Any other state saying it's good, the response is, well, you're not in Victoria. So it's nice to hear from someone who's in Victoria, having been through all of the long lockdowns. So. Now, I think you've got a bit of a prezzo to start us off, can we get to that first up?
Absolutely.
I think Mel and I will have plenty of questions on the way through.
Well, yeah, we'd love some Q&A. I say we'd love, me, myself and I.
Yeah.
On the line caller while I bring this up. Just going to do a screen share. Here we are. I love this stuff because so many people now are more open than ever before to innovate and change. And just let me know if you can see this from my computer.
Oh, look at that, beautiful. So good. You can tell when someone's in marketing, can't you?
Well, I didn't do that. Thank goodness we have graphic designers. But yeah, really, really excited to be here. I want as much Q&A as possible from you lovely ladies. Really kicking it off with, I'll ignore the mood check, but I do love this statement. I know I'm on the right path because things stopped being easy. And I think for, the Victorian fitness owners, operators out there, yeah, it was real hard yards for you guys. I really, really felt for you. But what I've seen is, and just hearing from Mel, a lot of you have gone, well, you know what? Heads up, focus forward, find a way, can-do attitude will become better for it. And throughout that time, not only with, the fitness owners that I know and our clients as a whole, people have become more connected with community more than ever before. Can you see me, by the way, or is it just like the prezzo?
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
you can, great. And this thing here, like the remote control to community, is being used more and more and more. And I think for the people out there that are just going to ignore the mobile phone and social networking, really, it's not a good move. And it's great to see a lot of now fitness operators embracing technology, embracing different ways to connect, communicate, engage, whether that's through social channels, whether that's through SMS. I know that in 2021 we'll be even more connected, and it's going to be through this. So based on the mobile phone, you go.
No, my question was going to be, what do you mean by that? More engage. The thought of more engagement with my phone terrifies me. So, I think that's where you're headed anyway. Straight away I have alarm bells. So
yeah. Look, some people do, but then the majority of the population now are literally, this is where their eyeballs and the attention is. And even with my kids, I just have to make them self-aware to go, you are still looking at that mobile phone device. What else can you do? But it's the go-to now for people to connect, engage. And obviously with Corona and coming out of it and being able to connect with, friends and family overseas, it's like, it's the norm now.
Yeah.
It's a lot more normal. I've been getting so many SMSs from like my electricity company to, it's just there. So it's expected. And if you don't get it, then it's, well, hang on, everything's got a bit quiet. And why is that? I'm a bit concerned. But I am hearing you at the same time as well, Eddie, because
I guess I just wonder if, given that is the norm, is there something to be said for going outside of that? Are there any results with old school strategies of marketing, or?
I think you've got to do both, and you test and learn. So for one, let's just say for you, Mel, in Ballarat, print might be working for you really, really well, but let's just say for you, Eddie, I don't know, are you in Sydney? I'm not sure. But and you're using Facebook ads, and that's really driving traffic, and that's bringing you new member acquisition, but then you're also using social to engage that member through live events, and that's working well for you. So it's a bit of a test and learn. Like I know from working in media now for 12 years, and Gary Vee, who I absolutely love, would say this too, it's like where the underpriced attention is, and it truly is. It's like you can connect and engage with anyone at any time, really, if they're online, if you have a compelling message, some good content, and if you want to amplify that, some media spend behind it.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Well, good. I think the main message for me is, it's like now more than ever, we can be real creative on how we connect with our community. And ultimately, it's like we've got to show we care. And how do we show we care? We ask our members. So I'm a member of a very big gym, and they've not probably updated the details on me because I've not had one EDM, I've had no SMS, and next minute I'm getting $19 pulled out of my account every fortnight. And so that just comes down to updating data, right? That's just one step. Now I honestly am on the fence to go, well, you know what? But I forgive them because I probably know, well, they haven't updated the database for a while. So now's a great time, guys, if you're listening, to update your database and ensure that every single person walking through your club, you've got the updated, updated number and the updated email address as well, because those two things are key for you. And then you can share messages like, we miss you, or whatever the campaign is, or how you're going, like whatever the messages that you choose, but you know that it's actually getting through to them. Because that's what we want more than ever, connection. And I know I did, like going through this, and I love working out. I love the fitness industry. I just love people as a whole. And I was just like, oh man, I wish I'd heard from that gym. And I've got a personal trainer instead and train at home. But it's just, again, update your records. Find ways to do that, creative ways, incentivizing them to update it on some level.
Sam, right throughout both lockdowns in our club, we text our members. And through the first lockdown, I think we texted them 4 to 5 times, and throughout the second lockdown, obviously it was sure that we did it 2 to 3 times. And it was really interesting to hear their feedback. One person actually came back to me and wrote on Facebook, though I wasn't attending your Facebook Live classes, Mel, because you were sending us text messages and because you were on Facebook, I felt really connected with my community and my club, even though I hadn't seen you guys physically for months and months. So I think, club owners need to understand that they might think, oh, a text message is nothing. It's really, really important, because it means that you, the club owner, took the time to sit down, to write a message to the member, send it, and pay for it. And so it tells that consumer that you are actually spending money throughout lockdown to connect with them and to keep them engaged, and that you do have that care factor. So I totally agree. It's so important to stay engaged with your members, not just through what we've all experienced, but as often as you can. You might not always get as many likes as you want or as many shares as you want, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not there and they're not reading it.
Agree. More than ever, we need to amplify that connection and communication, obviously with substance and in a meaningful way. And you can get really creative around that. So yeah, Mel, that's so good to hear. And also, I suppose, when it comes down to safety, so I found this really cool infographic. Now, let me see if I can share this with you. Stop share. Hold the line again, guys. And it was around, obviously, communicating that the clubs are clean and, here we go, and safe, which they are. That's one message, actually. You guys have always been super clean. Every time I went to my gym, it was like, all you've done now is you just amplified and put some hand sanitizer in, right? And I think that's
a whole lot of money, Sam, and spent a whole lot of money.
I spent a whole lot of money, and I think that needs to be amplified out there. We've always been this way. We've always done that. We've just amplified it slightly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was going to show you this, and I can send this off to you girls so then you can share it. But I found this from a UK site, and it was basically just, again, around SMS, all the different ways that you can use it, again, to build up that trust, to be connected, to be relatable. So I can happily send that on. But again, yeah, if you're a club that's not using SMS yet, like, use it, find ways. Like, it's as a consumer now, we get it. Like, you're not bombarding our personal space. We actually want it on some level. I want to be informed.
And the reality is too, Sam, send the text message, because if your member doesn't want to receive it, they're just going to press stop. Absolutely. So don't eliminate your communication with your members because you think, oh no, they're sick of my text messages. If they don't want to get your text messages, they'll hit the stop button. But there's a whole lot of other people out there that want to get your text messages, but at the same time, they'll forward those text messages onto their friends.
Spot on.
And I like how much you split the definitions of, what you can do. And it's that short, sharp message that I think isn't intrusive. As Mel says, you can just read it, within 20 seconds and go, got it, done, move on, without it really intruding on your day, rather than the old days where you get a phone call, it interrupts your whole day, it's intrusive, and this is just so easy.
Absolutely. And look, if there is an incident within the club, immediately you can go one to many like that in 30 seconds to your members and like, oh, wow, we've been updated. And lastly, to take the example, of when 6,000 Qantas employees had to be moved on, which is so sad. But that email address they used to have, and let's just say that email address was attached to the club, that's gone. So you've got no way to communicate with them unless you get the telephone number. So it's so important. That was like one of the key messages. Make sure you've got updated telephone numbers. Leading on from that, ladies, this member satisfaction, like SMSing a survey and actually asking members, I've put this in my prezzo, like, what do they want? What do they love about the gym? Like, I haven't been back to my gym yet and I'm considering it. And again, like, just because I just haven't chosen to. But if they said to me, tell me what you used to love about coming to the gym, I think, oh my God, getting up at 6 o'clock, packing my gym bag, laying all my stuff out the night before, going and meeting my mate Eddie and offloading all the crap that was happening at work, just pumping some weights, leaving, just going, I'm ready to smash the day. Just taking me through that emotional feeling and asking that question, you know what? But that's going to draw me closer to it. So again, it's like putting it out there. What do you guys love about the gym or the club? And there's so many different things they'll come up with, and that will then piece together your storytelling.
Yeah, yeah. That's a brilliant way of connecting emotionally. Yeah. And so following on from a survey like that, is there a sort of strategic approach that you would hit with next with an offer, or, you know, is that the way you're looking at the text messages in terms of almost a sales funnel now, or is that?
For sure. Yeah. One way of doing it. The other way of doing it is the biggest growth that we've had with all of our clients that's going through this is partnerships. It's like, who has got the audience that you want to get in front of, and how can you align to make it a win-win? So, for example, I was going to say Dettol, but that's more down the cleansing route. But think about it. Who has got an audience that you want to get in front of, locally, nationally, internationally, whoever that may be, and partner up and then do an incentive offer and a campaign. So that could be sent through an SMS. It could be sent through an EDM. It could be in club already. But, you know, getting a co-fund, co-design campaign developed has been really powerful for our clients. And it's an option out there right now for you guys as well, because everyone's kind of helping each other out, which is great. You know, never more than ever have been so connected as a community.
I mean, Sam, that's how this event unfolded, didn't it, Edwina? Yeah. Was the fact that, you know, the Victorian club owners needed assistance from fitness business professionals. So instead of us all going off with our own agenda, we just came together as one, collaborated, and have sent out some really great resources over the last 4 weeks. So collaboration, I think, is probably the first most important tool that fitness business owners have on their list in 2021. I mean, why try do stuff half-heartedly when you can do an amazing job with a group of other people who have the same agenda?
100%. And then you get double the thought process, knowledge sharing, creativity, content, audiences. So yeah, that was like another key takeaway. Look to see who you can partner with.
And within the industry itself as well, you know, particularly with businesses that are struggling, the cost also is split, you know, if there is a cost. But I think there's also so much room for collaboration. It's needed in our industry more, I think. People seem to see each other as competition. I remember I used to be training down the beach and I'd be like, morning, and other trainers would be like, It's like, you're the competition. It's like, are we really? Are we going to get? I think it's a great opportunity to shift that as well. That actually the guy next door isn't necessarily the competition, because you've both got unique USPs and it's kind of your selling point. And it doesn't have to be like that. So I think it is a great opportunity for industry. And we have seen, as Mel said, a lot of us in the industry have sort of come together that haven't done work together for years or ever. And it's brought a lot of us together, which I think is a huge positive. And
what you guys are doing from a knowledge sharing perspective is so powerful. Like, and you probably amplified it because it's so needed, and that comes from heart, and that's care, and that's karma, and that will always win, I believe.
And it doesn't finish here either, Sam. I mean, Edwina would agree with me. You know, 2021 and right throughout the Christmas New Year period is probably when club owners are going to need assistance the most. Because that thought process of what is 2021 going to deliver for me. So I believe, you know, moving forward, you know, people like yourself and working alongside Edwina and Justin and Megan, I think that, that the industry can only grow and become stronger from that.
Absolutely. Okay, I know I've got the prezzo. We're darting around, which is great. We might just swing back to it if that's okay with you guys. I wanted to show you, I don't know if you're aware of a campaign recently launched by Rebel Sport. I want to show you this very short video, if possible. Right. It's really clever in what they've done. And we spoke about it earlier about being emotive and humanizing the club atmosphere and getting people to remember what it was like. And making and you know, like missing out, nostalgia. Oh, it was like that. So they've done a really, not to say every gym owner has to go out and do this, but I just like the way they did it. It was short, to the point, and very relatable. That's another word. Like, be relatable to your consumer. Understand what they're going through.
And that's a great point, because I think our industry tends to kind of think that we have to be the which we often are, but because that's part of the role, but be the happy person and pretend everything's perfect when, you know, sometimes being real and saying we're all the same, we're all struggling, and can be a lot more relatable than.
I love it. Yeah, for sure. And that builds trust. You know, you don't need to sell, just, be relatable to them, and then that builds up trust over time. All right, so here's the quick, short, snappy Rebel ad. It's called Sport is Cooling. And I watched this and I was like, this is so me. So again, then Rebel comes into my head.
Awesome. Is there volume?
Oh, that's a good point. That's weird. I don't know why it's not playing volume. It's not playing volume, but that's okay. Basically, these people are jumping on her, just saying, oh, you know, I haven't seen you for ages. It's mum and dad going, can we have a Zoom call tonight? Like, so there's just a whole bunch of people jumping on her, like demanding things of her.
It's hilarious.
And it's like the words that they're saying, it's like, oh my God, yes, I've had that.
What, Pete, don't you feel like that some days? It's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And again,
You know what would be really great with that? When I was watching that, how would that be if we had something designed that was for the fitness industry that said collaboration is calling?
absolutely.
That would be amazing. Absolutely. Collaboration is calling.
Yeah, yeah. Although she was letting collaboration go. I just love the facial expression. Leave me alone.
She was wanting to Rebels to get her next pair of Nikes.
But like, there is the reverse. Everyone's been at home by themselves through lockdown, so it's kind of like, bring me some people.
Sam, I was just wondering if can I just ask you some questions, because I know that Edwina's probably got some questions to ask too, just about advertising on Facebook, because obviously that would have dropped down in the news feed for people on Facebook. I started advertising on Facebook pretty much 2008, so I've been on there for a while and I've been advertising, and I've seen a shift over the years as to how club owners are setting up their Facebook advertising. And in the very early years, like a post like that from Rebel would have been made public, and it would have been a sponsored ad, and you just would have hit boost and you would have just thrown it out there. But now I'm noticing that a lot of club owners and other businesses are doing more custom ads. And so when you go look at your competitors, you jump on their Facebook page and, you know, you'll jump up and you'll look at a post and you'll see it's been made into a custom audience as opposed to being a public post. So in a situation like that Rebel ad, is that something that would have been made public, or would they have made that a custom ad where they just wanted to hit their target audience?
Good question. I'm not sure, but they got me. I got it on Instagram and I just forwarded it on to my team. I was like, look at this, guys. It caught my attention immediately. So, I mean, gosh, we could talk for hours on ad sets. The way I think about it when it comes to advertising is, yes, you've got Facebook and Instagram there, you've got LinkedIn there. So you have paid channels there. But then you've also got influencers, paid or unpaid, that you can lean on. You've also got your partners as well. So yes, you can invest time, effort and energy. You also got your Facebook groups. How do you do a collab on a Facebook group? Just a quick one, going off tangent, and then I'll come back in. We work with a steam cleaning company called Bissell, right? We found a Facebook group called Mums That Clean with over 100,000 mums that love to clean. So we paused our ads just because we were testing and learning, just to see. And we collabed with this Mums That Clean group. And we gave away like a few, it was a campaign, we gave away a few steam cleaners. Next minute, people were comparing their water, look how dirty my carpet was, look how clean it is now. So we started to get content from it. We then built up a database from it, and then we were selling from it. They were recommending Bissell product in this group with over 100,000 mums that love to clean through one Facebook group. So again, yes, advertising is important without a doubt, for brand, for engagement, to mirror audiences and find new audiences. But then also, like, you know, there's a bit of sweat equity involved. Go in the trenches, go and find the Facebook groups, build up relationships with community there as well, whether it's through partners. So, yeah, there's there's a lot there. Sorry if I'm just going a million miles an hour, but it excites me.
I was just thinking about going into a group. So as a small business owner, going into a group and then pitching my product to me, you'd have to be fairly subtle in that. Or is there, I would imagine there's kind of Facebook rules there. I mean, Mel, you probably know too, because you're on Facebook a lot. There's a fine line between annoying your audience as well.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be pitching without a doubt. Go to the admin and look to do a collab.
Yeah.
So then they support you. Like, don't go in and pitch.
Yeah, that's what
add value. But go to the admin owner and then look to see if you can strike up a partnership with them, because to help them get what they want, which is obviously to engage their community and add value, you get what you want, which is a database, whatever they let you do within the extremes of that. Great. It's a good way of looking at things. And influencers, like in Ballarat, is there any, and you don't have to be celeb as an influencer. Is there someone that is highly trusted and that can influence community, that might have maybe only 2,000 highly engaged followers on Instagram, but they would all walk through fire for her or him? As opposed to, I'm going to spend money in advertising. You can negotiate what you can offer that individual instead, and it doesn't have to be paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
Okay. Can I just ask you a question about the groups? So taking it back to club owners again. All right, so as a club owner, I've got a group that's closed. Only my members can go into that group. What would you suggest as a club owner? How do I create a relationship where I'm collaborating with my members outside of my gym environment? So they're in this group to, let's say, watch Facebook Live classes or just to know the updates of what's going on in the gym. How can I extract and collaborate with those people that are in that group? See, it would be like if Edwina set up, say, a fitness technology group, and then she's got a whole lot of people in there. How would we collaborate with those people that are in there? They've got their own businesses and their own lives. How do we collaborate so that there's an equal exchange?
Okay, so what you're saying is Edwina's got a group. You want to be able to collaborate and get involved in that group and then extract and bring across to become members?
No, so we've both got our own groups and we've both got our own members and we've both got our own products. How do we collaborate with our members? Because at the moment, our members are in there for a product that we have.
Yep.
But how can we use our members in that group to help our business grow, but at the same time, allow them the same?
Run a campaign or a competition. So you open up both groups, so you allow them to join both groups, for example. And that's one way of doing it. Or giving them a call to action to go somewhere else, so they all come to a centralised group, whether that's a landing page that you co-fund. I don't know what that would look like, but...
Or are you saying, Mel, for the actual members of the group to...
Yeah, the members of the group. So, all right, I've got like 400 people sitting in this group that are group fitness lovers. Well, I know that they're all got lives and they all do something. So I want to keep them engaged with my club. How do I collaborate with them? So they've obviously got businesses or they've got lives. How can I get them more engaged with me to share something that they do in their life that my business is going to grow from it? So there could be a gardener, there could be a plumber, there could be an electrician. How do we get them pumped up and keep them engaged?
Yep, so just state the purpose of the group. Say that we're looking, this is a lifestyle group, it's holistic. Next week we're running a book club, or we're looking for a gardener to give tips or whatever that may be. Do a call out, a shout out. But themes. So whether it's when we work with Tobin Brothers Funerals, and that sounds strange, but the purpose we work with them is to support client families going through a time of need. And when we were in lockdown, we were like, what do you guys want? Like, how can we better support you? And yes, it was through grief, but also it was through activity. And so we got a professional bowler on, and he did some workouts with them through Facebook Live. And we did art for the hearts. We did painting. So we had an artist on, and we had a painting class. So throw it out to them. They'll tell you. Or you have set themes that you think or would resonate, and then you put a call out for like an expert, or not an expert, but someone that was dedicated to doing that once a month, for example.
Okay, all right. Because it'd be nice to do other stuff than just do the group fitness chit chat in the group. It'd be good to be able to keep that relationship building, even though the clubs are open now, because originally the group was set up because we were in lockdown.
I love the fact that you've got that there. I mean, there's so much you can do once you understand what they want. What you could also do is bring in, and I think you guys have already had like a professional athlete speak on a resilience topic maybe, but you can bring in, you know, these athletes right now are hanging to just share their stories. Like we work with the AIS, and one of their key goals is to ensure that the athlete is a role model to community. So there's plenty that'll put their hand up and say, hey, I'd love to contribute.
Okay.
You can bring in key guests as well. Yeah. So bringing in outsiders in and then getting them to bring people in.
Cool.
If it's relevant.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Thank you.
My pleasure. But we've got like 6 minutes, sorry, because I'm going to have to do school dash at
That's
8:45. But
What else do you suggest that club owners do with their Facebook and their Instagram ads at the moment moving forward in 2021?
Well, you love the ads, don't you?
Yeah, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We want to know what
Okay.
the secret
Okay.
sauce is,
So
Sam.
maybe sum that up. Let's do a little comment, like sum that up in a minute or two, and then I'd just love Sam to give us a top sort of
Yep.
tip.
Yeah. And so with the ads, you'll have a database. So one of the most powerful ways right now is to upload your database, which is totally legal, into Facebook. And then what that will do is it will target, let's say, me, Sam at Think Tank Social, right, has got that email address linked into Facebook, but also is on your database. You get a match. So out of all of your database, you might get a 30% match. That means that you can actually target me with a piece of content, whether it's for member engagement, whether it's acquisition, whether it's just brand awareness that you've got a new service or you've got a new partner, wherever that may be. You can focus on me, like not to say it's Sam, but you'll be able to target me. What then you can do is you can find other audiences like me. 42 years old, loves the Melbourne Demons, lives in Melbourne, You can start, so then that, once you then find that one, then it finds another one. So that's a really powerful way of, there's lookalike audiences, they're called, of scaling and ensuring that you've got the right audiences. Content is key. Like you could have the best targeting in the world, but if your content isn't resonating, it's not relatable, then you've just lost that person. So again, with video, like within the first 3 seconds, you've got to catch their attention. That's what Rebel did for me. I was like, hang on a minute. Like she was coming out of bed, then there was the husband there, and then next minute she was on the path. I was like, oh, what's happening here? So you've got to be...
Even without sound, that was great.
Yeah, there's me like commentating along. Yes, the mum and dad want to catch up for a Zoom chat tonight. Her husband's saying, I'm going to be home late. So yeah, those two are really, really powerful ways of advertising. Look, I have advertising specialists at TTS. I'm not an ad specialist. I say creatively, I want this. They go away and target. Yeah. So I may not be, like I know those two work, but I'm probably not the best person. And I can, you know, if you guys are open, I can definitely get an ad specialist to come on and talk specifically data analytics, ads, targeted.
That would be cool.
Other approaches are good. I think that's, you know, what would be your sort of top strategy or top 2 strategies or whatever you'd like to finish with around recommending for people to kick off 2021 with a bang, I guess.
Yeah. So I would imagine everyone's focusing on growth.
Small business doesn't usually have access to someone like you. So it's great to have you on. Love to just get what you think is the key thing that we can take away.
So if you want to scale, number one, you can't scale unless you've got a highly engaged community already. So number one, care about the people you've already got. Communicate with them in different ways and ways that they want to be communicated with. If they don't want to be communicated SMS, as Mel said before, they'll opt out. I love being communicated by SMS. So try them all. SMS, EDM, in club. Is it a phone call? Hey, I'm from your local club. I'm like, oh, wow. They're not selling me anything. They're just checking in to see how I am. Is it a handwritten note? Just so find ways to keep the heartbeat of your community, of your membership going. Because if you look after them, they will then just naturally share. I've had a great experience.
Is there a formula for that, Sam? Is there a kind of like, you know, I find with some companies they bombard you and it's too much. But maybe that's my person. And there's others who don't at all. Is there kind of a formula that's the norm in the industry or not? Is it really about testing your own audience?
It is, unfortunately. But I think, you know what, if you're adding value each time, and I get 15 pieces of content go through my feed, but it's adding value, then great. But just don't do it for the sake of doing it for frequency. Just have a meaningful message and be really creative. I think now's the time. We've got an opportunity to be really creative in what we do. My second piece of advice would be around partnerships. Find a good partner that can support you, that can co-invest, co-design, that's got the audience you want to get in front of. You've got the audience they want to get in front of. Bring them on And that could be multiple partners. Don't just look at one. That could be, you could go and do a campaign with 3 other partners. That could be like a PTP Fit, strength and conditioning band, an Australian Unity, and you guys.
Yeah.
Because remember, insurance companies want to get in front of your audiences as well. So for me, I've been going to, with some of our clients, HSC, Australian Unity I've had conversations with, superannuation firms I've had communications with, because they all want to grow. So think, who wants to grow that can invest into your audience so you can get some additional money, you know, and do it in a meaningful way when you do your EDM, so then you can use that money elsewhere. And let's just say, just throw it out there, CBUS Super, right? And they want to grow, and you've got a database of 7,000. They'd have a convo with you, right? Maybe not them because they're tradies, but a superannuation fund would have a convo around a corporate partnership. So being smart and going, okay, to have access to our 7,000, that's going to cost 10 grand, and this is what you get. You get a space on the website. I'm going to do an EDM once a quarter with a member offer. So yeah, you see where I'm going? Get real creative with it. So think about the big companies that have got the money that need to get in front of your community, but there's a good value match.
Yeah, and it's good to hear, because I guess in the past I would have thought, 7,000 is not enough, or 10,000 isn't enough, but I guess it's the quality of the leads, isn't it?
Absolutely, and even so, we work with a company called PTP and Bahi. So Bahi's like yoga mats, PTP, strength and conditioning bands, power tubes. So right now they're expanding, so they will invest into areas that have the audience they want to get in front of from a sponsorship perspective, and then they'll negotiate where they get seen, what content, what social media posts go out. So actually that would be a massive takeaway. Develop a corporate partnership / sponsorship document and look at everything you can offer that person. If you're doing Facebook Lives in a group every week, there's exposure right there. They could sponsor that. Like there's space on the website, there's an EDM. Like
that's a fantastic tip, because it's actually also helping people get some cash flow in, because I think it's one of the struggles right now. And at least you can lean back on all of the years of work and go, okay, there's something here I can sell, you know, and help myself through this hump, so to speak.
Yeah, that would be my key number one, actually. As long as it aligns with your core values and their core values, do it. Because they've got the money is there in the corporates right now. It's there, and they're hungry to grow.
That's a brilliant tip. Thanks, Sam.
Got my little boy, and I go, I've got to go to school, I'm going to be late.
I know, I can see him.
Hi guys. Hello.
Hi.
Sam,
Mom's coming now.
We're about to finish so that you get to school on time. We're just wrapping up now.
Great.
Sam, if people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way to do that?
Probably the website, thinktanksocial.com.au.
Okay, and you said that you'd be willing to share the prezzo that you had today, or anything?
Yeah. I'll share the prezzo, and I'll share the SMS comms as well.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Brilliant. Mel, any other questions from you before we let Sam run and drop a little one off?
I know how important it is, Sam, to get those kids to school on time. Been there, done that. But thank you very much for your time, and I'm really looking forward to sharing your presentation, and hopefully we can get somebody in to talk about ad sets and advertising, because I think that would really help the club owners of Victoria and, of course, right throughout Australia in 2021.
Yeah, can do. Pens and paper, it'll be more of a head down.
Yeah. No, thanks so much for that tip with partnerships. I think that was huge, and I'm going to think about that myself. I think we can tend to think we're too small to approach those bigger companies, so it was great to almost have permission to go give it a shot. Nothing to lose, right?
Doors are open right now.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
See you.
Thanks, Sam.
Ciao.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thanks, Mel.